What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Saturday, November 9th, 2024. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games that I love, including my daily $15 best bet, head on over to Pickdawgz.com and click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. We had an okay day with the Wraparound. Got snaked on a couple of last minute goals, games that went to overtime and got us there as well. Got shafted a little bit with those, but you know what? That's fine. It's part of the way the puck bounces. We're gonna have some good days, gonna have some bad days. Today we're gonna be looking at a 12-game NHL card. There's a ton of action on the board, but I tell you, there's still some cold hard cash to be made on the ice. Let's not wait any longer. You guys know the drill. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. Our first game takes us to the KeyBank Arena where the Buffalo Sabres take on the Calgary Flames. And this is a little bit of a tricky game because you have two teams that aren't necessarily in the best of form. Calgary, they've alternated wins and losses in each of their last 5, but they're just 3-7 in their last 10. While Buffalo, 5-5 in their last 10 as well, but they have won back-to-back games. They're coming off of a dominant road victory over the New York Rangers. Now they go back home where they're actually better this season. They are a 500 team at home compared to 2-3-1 on the road this season. And I just think that this is a spot where I lean towards the Buffalo Sabres just because of home ice. The Calgary Flames, like I said, just continue to be inconsistent, and it just seems like that winning streak that they had to start the season is just long in the rearview mirror. So I'm going to lean towards the Sabres here at minus 145. Now we head to the Canada Life Arena where the Winnipeg Jets take on the Dallas Stars in one of the marquee matchups. At least it's a marquee matchup in the afternoon. And the way I'm looking at this game is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Dallas Stars, yes, are one of the more balanced teams in the NHL, one of the more consistent teams. But in terms of results, they've split their last 8 games. They've had some questionable performances here and there. And this is still, a Dallas, team that's lost 3 of their last 4 road games to Washington, Buffalo, and they lost technically as a road team against the Florida Panthers when they were over in Finland. And now you go take on a Winnipeg team that's 7-1 at home this season, 13-1 overall this season. I know this run is not going to last for the Winnipeg Jets, but until it cools off, until the tickets stop cashing, especially when we're getting them at cheap / coin flip prices, I'm going to keep riding them. So give me the Winnipeg Jets at the money line here at minus 110. Now we head to the Emirates Bank Arena where the Carolina Panthers take on the Philadelphia Flyers. And you just have two teams that are headed in different directions in this game. The Philadelphia Flyers, sure, they managed to pick up a win over the Tampa Bay Lightning in a shootout on the road. I'll give Philadelphia their credit for that. But realistically, am I looking to back the Flyers in their current state? Not really, because I want to make sure that Samuel Ersson is going to be healthy. If it's not going to be Ersson, it's going to be either Kolosov or Fedotov. And neither one of them have been really consistent enough for me to trust long term. I know we're getting a decent amount of plus money with the Flyers, but the Panthers are red hot right now. This is a team that's won 6 in a row. The majority of those wins have actually, I should say, all of those wins have come by 2+ goals. They're outscoring teams by a combined margin of 30-14 in those 4 games, or excuse me, in that 6-game win streak. So I got to take the Florida Panthers. I got to take the Panthers on the puck line to get the job done here. Now we head to the Enterprise Center for a matchup between the St. Louis Blues and the Washington Capitals. And, we were on the Washington Capitals yesterday as a decent-sized favorite, and they unfortunately let it get away from them as, they were tied 2-2 in the third period against Pittsburgh, lost that game 4-2, and now Washington's alternated wins and losses in each of their last 4. But something worth noting, they have yet to lose back-to-back games this season, have the Washington Capitals. And while the St. Louis Blues have played well in spots, this is still a very inconsistent team. And when they are consistent, they're consistently, subpar. They've scored 2 goals or less in 4 of their last 6 and 5 of their last 8 games. And now, if you're the Capitals, you sent out Charlie Lindgren on Friday. Well, now you get Logan Thompson, who's been outstanding this season, 6-0 on the year. I think the Capitals are just the more consistent team right now. 1 loss, like I said, is not going to sway me from taking the Capitals. So I'm going to take the Capitals here at the coin flip price. Now we head to the Scotiabank Arena where the Toronto Maple Leafs take on Montreal Canadiens. And, this is a far cry from a matchup that we had earlier this season where the Montreal Canadiens beat Toronto 1-0 on opening night. And Toronto, has won back-to-back games in 4 of 6. The majority of their work has been done at home. They've won 3 straight games on home ice. They beat the Red Wings. They shut out the Bruins 4-0. They beat the Kraken 4-1. And Montreal, just a team that can't get out of their own way. They've lost 5 straight games. They've allowed a combined 25 goals in that 5-game losing streak, and they've given up at least 4 goals in 6 of their last 8 losses. But I'm also not looking to jump on board with Toronto here. If I were to lean towards the side, I would lean towards Toronto. But I'm going to take the over here because it's a back-to-back for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And while they are at home and got to sleep in their own beds, Anthony Stolarz got the start on Friday, and I feel that he is the much better goaltending option for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It looks like it's going to be Joseph Woll starting for Toronto on Saturday. At least that's my assumption. And I'm not a fan of Joseph Woll. He just hasn't looked right yet this season. So I'm going to take the over 6.5 between the Leafs and the Canadiens. Now we're heading to Little Caesars Arena where the Detroit Red Wings take on the New York Rangers, and sort of the same boat for me with the Detroit Red Wings. Not a team I'm trying to trust on the second half of a back-to-back. The New York Rangers got shellacked in their last game we were talking about earlier, and it's not often that you see Igor Shesterkin get roughed up. And there have been a couple of times where Shesterkin gets roughed up, and then it takes him a couple starts to really get it back on track. But I think he can bounce back here, or even if it's Jonathan Quick, I think the Rangers can bounce back. They are 4-1 on the road this season. Detroit all of a sudden losing 4 of their last 6 games, and head-to-head, the New York Rangers have won the last 5 meetings and 8 of the last 10, and a lot of those have not been close. So I'm going to take the New York Rangers to win this one in regulation at -115. You can also sprinkle a little bit on the puck line as well, +140. Now we head to the TD Garden where the Boston Bruins take on the Ottawa Senators in an Atlantic Division matchup. And, the Boston Bruins are another team that's sort of been hot and cold this season that you wouldn't expect them to be. They're 7-7-1 on the year, but they've started to pick it up a little bit. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. I stick with it. For me, the cap on the Ottawa Senators is fairly simple to figure out. At least it has been up to this point in the year. You fade this Senators team on the road. You back them for the most part at home, or at least you don't back them on the road if you don't want to back them against teams like maybe your San Jose's, your Anaheims of the world. But still, 1-5 on the road this season are the Ottawa Senators. Now they go into a tough environment in Boston where they did win last season. But prior to that, Boston won the previous 4 meetings. Boston, for me, is just the better team, and I'm going to take the Boston Bruins to win this one at -140. Next, we head to the UBS Arena where the New York Islanders take on the New Jersey Devils for a Metro Division matchup. And this should be a good one. But, I've gone back and forth on this game because both teams have had their fair share of inconsistencies, but both teams are actually playing well as of late. New Jersey's won back-to-back games in 4 of 5, while the Islanders have won back-to-back games in 3 of their last 4. But the difference for me in this matchup is I think you're really splitting hairs here. And when I'm splitting hairs, I want to be on the side giving me plus money, especially when the Islanders have had the bulk of the success between these two teams in recent meetings. The Islanders already won in New Jersey 4-3 earlier this season. Now the road team has won 4 of the last 5 meetings, but I think that this is a spot where the Islanders could potentially buck that trend. I'm going to lean towards the Islanders here at +120 just because I don't really love this game, to be honest. Next, we're going to Bridgestone Arena where the Nashville Predators take on the Utah Hockey Club. And, just when I'm ready to give the Nashville Predators the benefit of the doubt, they go ahead and they stink up the joint as they have for, the better part of the last couple weeks. They started to look like they were turning the corner. They had won 3 games towards the end of October, and since then have now lost 3 straight in 5 of 6. They've scored 2 goals or less in all 5 of those losses. And now, you take on the Utah Hockey Club, who has been, I would say, more competitive on the road this season than at home. They've only had, I think, 2 losses this season out of their 8 games played on the road that have been, more than a 1-goal loss. And I think Utah can be competitive here, but I think Utah can win this game outright. I think Utah is where the value is in this game. I'm not laying -155 with a Nashville Predators team that continues to find ways to give wins to the other team and, they continue to struggle. And even if the offense, picks it up, or were to pick it up, you can't trust the goaltending right now either. So give me the Utah Hockey Club at plus money, +135. Now we head to the Ball Arena where the Colorado Avalanche take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And head-to-head between these two teams, the Carolina Hurricanes haven't had a whole lot of luck in Colorado in past seasons. They've dropped each of their last 3 trips to Colorado as well. But the thing for me, though, in this matchup is that Carolina is just the much more stable team. They're 5-1 both home and away this season. Colorado at home, 3-5 straight up, and a lot of that has to do with the fact they have the worst defense in the NHL from a goaltending perspective. I mean, sure, they only lost 1-0 to the Winnipeg Jets last time out, but it almost just seems like, like what else can you do if you're the Colorado Avalanche? The defense shows up, the offense is dry. The offense shows up, well, you give up 5 goals in 3 straight games. And sometimes it's a combination of both, where the offense doesn't show up and the defense is crap. So I can't trust the Colorado Avalanche. This is a good team in terms of name brand, names on paper, but the games aren't played on paper. The games are played on the ice, and I think the Carolina Hurricanes get it done. I'm going to take the Hurricanes at the coin flip price. Now we're going to the Crypto.com arena where the Los Angeles Kings take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. And for me, the way I'm looking at it is that this is a, Columbus Blue Jackets team that earlier this season was providing value off of a loss, and they still have an 8-4 ATS record this season, and a lot of their games have been played in the underdog role. However, we're now at the point where Columbus has lost 3 straight games, and even then, the last game that they lost against San Jose in San Jose was in the favorite role, so not even providing value that way with the +1.5. The Los Angeles Kings, they're playing well at home. They're 3-1-1 on home ice this season. They are coming off their first regulation loss at home against the Vancouver Canucks last time out. But I just think in current form, I think that the Los Angeles Kings are just the better team right now. So I'm going to take the Kings to win this one in regulation. You can also sprinkle a little bit on the puck line as well for +125 if you want. Our final game on Saturday's card takes us to Rogers Arena, where the Vancouver Canucks take on the Edmonton Oilers. And this is, an interesting matchup again, because two teams that, are both expected to do fairly well this season. Both have been, at least picking up their play as of late. But the thing that stands out for me in this game is that the Vancouver Canucks have been in better form. They've won their last 3 games in a row. And not only that, this is a playoff revenge matchup for the Vancouver Canucks, as well as Edmonton knocked them out of the postseason in 7 games last year. And I think the Vancouver Canucks kind of had this game circled. Have they been at their best at home? No, not really. The Vancouver Canucks are 6-1 on the road, 1-1-3 at home this season. But I think this is a spot where, you just read into the narrative and take the Vancouver Canucks here. The Edmonton Oilers, they came out flying in their first couple of games without Connor McDavid, but have now started to slip a little bit. And I'm going to take the Vancouver Canucks to get their playoff revenge to close things out at -110. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Saturday, November 9th, 2024. Again, if you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Let me know who you have in your NHL picks for today's action. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games that I love, including my daily $15 best bet, head on over to pickdawgz.com. Click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. Plenty of packages on the board for you guys today, whether it's college football, college hoops, hockey, or anything in between. The best value is to hop on a long-term pass, whether it's just with me or someone else as part of our 2-for-1 capper promotion. But whatever you choose to do, whether it's a daily package or a long-term pass, use the promo code PICK at checkout for an additional 15% off your purchase. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys.